All right, so tonight's video is going to be a little bit different. Let me tell you guys a little story about a group that I belong to on Facebook called Shoe Repair International. Basically, a couple of us got together and created a Facebook page of cobblers, craftsmen, whoever's in the trade that can join. It's a closed group, so basically just whoever's in the trade can join into the group. Now, a lot of people post pictures, how-tos, prices, and with their work to show what they've done. Along with me, I do the same thing. I post pictures, I put prices, I put, how-to videos. And unfortunately, some people tend to be a little bit triggered by my prices. They think that I charge way too much and I shouldn't, that I'm ripping customers off. So a couple of bad apples in the group decided to wander away and create their own Facebook group, which is fine. They're welcome to do that. And this person who messed up these pair of shoes belongs to that group. And we had a falling out, and he basically just told me to go F myself because I was, charging too much money, that I would, talk about my high-priced repairs, and I'm a show-off. Farthest from the truth, okay? Yes, I do charge a lot of money. My jobs are priced high. It's according to everybody's work, everybody's, valued their time and efforts their own way. So for them to be talking about my prices is ridiculous. They can do whatever they want to do with their business, but they choose not to because they can't do the quality. So they have nothing to stand on. So they lash out at my comments and my pictures and my prices. So we have a friend of mine, his name is Mike. He used to live in the area where I've done work for him before. And he is part of this group that these bad apples started. So these bad apples were doing a giveaway, the 1,000 members, for the 1,000th member to give away a recrafting package, okay? And Mike was the winner of that. And he sent the shoes off to Florida, A1 Shoe Repair. This person's name is Chris, which we had a falling out. And Chris' shop did a full leather sole and heel with French tips and sent it back to Mike. Mike contacted me. He said, Steve, I won a contest in a Facebook group page for a recrafting package. And I'm like, that's great. You got a free job out of it, and I'm sure it'll be okay. He said, no. He said, they ruined my shoes. Can't wear them anymore. They're tight. The uppers are sanded, scratched, gouged. It's just not a good job. I'm like, it's impossible. It can't be. It can't be that bad. So he showed me pictures. Couldn't believe my eyes. I could not believe that somebody would do a job like that who was in this trade, who was part of our group for many years, and he's done good work before. It's almost impossible for this guy to do this kind of a job. It was just unbelievable. Anyway, I told Mike to send me the shoes. Send me the shoes. Let me see what I can do. Maybe I can make them a little better and at least try to make them look presentable. The shoes came in. You couldn't believe at the quality. Well, I'm not even going to go with quality. It was just garbage. I could not believe it. Okay. And this person, Mr. Chris, is boasting on his website, on his Instagram page, that he did a beautiful job blind stitching a shoe, which was his third attempt at trying to fix these shoes. All right, at least he tried. So I got the shoes, I'm looking at them, and I'm like, there's no way these are blind stitch. So I sanded the soles. Sure enough, they were not blind stitched, okay? They were glued on. Basically, that's fraud. You can't do that. Don't lie to the customer. If you can't do a job, don't do it. Don't tell them you did something that you didn't do, okay? So I made the video and I came home and I'm changing the beginning of the video because I said some things that I shouldn't have said. And I'm going to add this at the beginning of the video and show you guys how I repaired his screw up. And it is a screw up. He should admit it. Whether he did it, he didn't do it is not the point. You can't be a fraud, okay? Can't lie to the customer saying you did something you didn't do. That's low. That's lowest of lows. And I feel bad that I got to do this, but you know what? It leaves me no choice. Paybacks are hell, aren't they, Chris? Yeah, you remember when you told me to go F myself in our group? Well, this is a way for me to get back to you, to clean up your mess. Maybe you can watch the video to see how I'm doing it and learn from it, since you tell me I can't help anybody. Please, you ask anybody in our group or anywhere. I've helped so many people out. I respect people who respect me. If you don't respect me, there's no way I can show you respect back. Okay? All right. So let's get started with this project, and I think you'll see that what I'm talking about. I don't have to tell you. Look at the job. The customer, you don't complain about it, not me. Okay. All right. And by the way, Mike wasn't happy with the job. I told him to reach out to Chris. I said, reach out to him and give him the benefit of the doubt. See what he says. And Mike did that. Chris's response was, oh shit. Really? That's what you say? So they went back and forth, try to see if they can solve the problem. Couldn't come to a solution. There was only one solution. He had to buy him a new pair of shoes. He ruined his shoes. So it was an attempt made to try to solve the problem. And it wasn't solved. As of tonight, it wasn't solved. Okay? Everybody makes mistakes. We all learn from our mistakes. But it's how you handle your mistake after the fact, what makes you a man or not. All right. The reason I come on to you guys to tell you guys this, think of this as your PSA of the day, public service announcement, okay, to the consumers. I always tell you guys, look for a local guy to give some jobs to help out. But this is one shop I wish that people would stop taking their work until this gentleman learns how to repair shoes. That's when you guys can, take your business to him, and maybe he'll learn his lesson with his video. Anyway, I'm just upset that I have to go through this to make this public and to show you guys that this is not a good way to do a job, and it's not good for the industry at all. Okay. All right, that's enough for today. So let's get started. Even the French tip is not doing a good job. When you're doing a French tip like that, you're supposed to have it flush with the leather sole. Okay. This is not flush. Unbelievable, man. I don't know what he's thinking. I really don't. You shouldn't touch a pair of shoes again until he gets some proper training. Maybe you should watch more videos on how to repair shoes. Unbelievable. So let's sand that. I'll show you guys that there's no stitches involved here. This is what a proper blind stitch is. Let me show you guys, when you sand that, you're supposed to see the stitches. There's the stitches right there. Unbelievable, man. Unbelievable. Here's a pair of Carmina shoes. That's a blind stitch shoe right there. See the stitches underneath that flap? Let's get back to this garbage. There are so many layers of cork here, which is unnecessary. So the more cork you put here, you give it a little bit of a hump and you put the sole down. What it does, if it's too thick, it pushes up on that and then changes the size of the shoe on the inside. Unbelievable. He used nails to nail down the sole to the shoe. Well, you don't need nails if this is stitched on. Obviously it's not. It's just glued on. This is just a mess. This is just such a mess. Look at the joint here. Where the old, where the start, the finish of the welt. I don't know why you would put a fake welt that's got a stitch on it on a Goodyear welted shoe, unless you're deceiving the consumer, saying that it was blind stitch to show that there's stitches on top of the welt and the shoe's not stitched on. The leather sole's not stitched onto the shoe. Oh God, man, unbelievable. I've seen some bad jobs in my life. This takes the cake. Now, in defense of the person who did this, okay? I know I'm trying to I'm trying to understand his thought process. Now, this person was in our group, on SRI group. He knows better than to do a job like this. I just can't understand. I don't believe that he would do a job like this. He knows better. He's been part of the group for many years. We share a lot of information on that group, how to do jobs and so forth. For him to do this is just, I just don't believe it. I find it hard to believe. Now, he did say that his helper did this job, right? After we called him out on it. Well, if your helper did this job, why are you posting online saying that this is the third attempt at the blind stitch that you tried to do? Okay, which is another lie. I don't know, man. I don't know. I wish that he wouldn't have done that. I really did, When the shoe was coming to me, I was just hoping it wasn't as bad. It's pretty bad. You can't, when you're stitching the welt on, you can't tighten the uppers. You just can't. That's not how you do it. You should know that when you're in the business. And they actually did that. And they changed the size of the shoe. So I told the owner of the shoes, please send them to me. I'm going to do them over for you, no charge. Now, I wanted to do it over to call this person out who did this job. Because this person basically a while back told me to go F myself. He said all these, you should have just seen all the things that he wrote. on our group about me. So this is poetic justice. It comes back to me to fix his mistake. Maybe you should watch the video and learn. Okay, so we got the welt off. I mean, I can already tell that this is just, it's too tight on the sides. Way too tight. So this is this one's apart. I already started sanding the surface here on this particular one, smoothing out all the scars. Even the stitches on the uppers were cut with the sandpaper. Man, how do you do that? Holy Christ, man. Unbelievable. Oof. I need to calm myself down and just focus. All right, let's continue. If you look closely right here, these are the old welt stitches. He didn't even follow. These are the ones that he stitched. He didn't even follow the old stitches, which you're supposed to do that. I mean, that's shoe repair 101 when you're re-welting something. Unbelievable. What a mess. My God, man. These are the original welt stitches, which they didn't even bother to remove. A1 shoe repair, my butt. It should be F0 shoe repair. Unbelievable. Now, while this person had the customer's shoes, the customer has family in Jacksonville. Okay? So he went to visit the family, and he thought it'd be a good idea to go check out A1 Shoe Repair, Durwood, to, you know, take Chris out on his birthday, like a birthday lunch. The customer's a really nice guy. He loves shoes, and he's part of a bunch of groups. And he got together with another member who lived down there. They figured, you know what, let's go take out Chris for lunch. It's his birthday. We'll chit-chat, we'll talk about shoes and this and that. Do you guys believe he didn't show up when the customer and the other member went to his shop? He wasn't there. He didn't even show up. That they planned on the lunch together. He never showed up. I'd be pissed. I would be very upset. Disrespectful? My God, man. Who knows? Maybe something came up in his busy schedule that he didn't have a chance to go out for lunch. Some people aren't worth the respect. All right. My blood's boiling already. All right, at this stage we're going to just work on the uppers for a bit. We're going to sand these marks. and try to smooth those out. Try to bring this, try to bring life to this shoe again. All right, let's continue. Some of these scratches are pretty deep, so you can only sand so much of that surface to try to smooth it out. Okay. So what we're going to do, we're going to use this product. Some of the scratches, just fill those in, let it dry, and sand again. I mean, that was pretty deep gash, man. Look at this. See that line right there? I can only sand so much of that. So. You know, I'm happy that the customer sent me these shoes, but I'm just upset about the whole situation. This doesn't look good in our industry, you know. We have to look at the bigger picture. Not everybody does the jobs like this, but I hope that the consumer doesn't think that all repair shops are like this. Yes, there are some people who are not really qualified. They try to do their best they can, which is fine. It's okay. But for one thing, do not be a fraud. That's what I think I'm upset more than the job itself. That he blatantly lied to the customer, still lying till today on his social medias. Anyway, on to positive notes. Carmina contacted me some time ago about doing some work on their shoes, to talk about it a little bit. They sent me 3 pairs. One pair they gave me as a gift, which is really cool. The second pair I was going to redo. The third pair, which was a mismatched pair, which is this one I just sanded the bottom I showed you guys. I was just going to take it apart, deconstruct it, and talk about the shoe. Well, I didn't want to work on Carmina's like this, but I got no choice. So I'll do a Carmina review, I guess you call it, at a later time when the circumstances are better than what they are now. I'm just putting a light coat on there just to kind of cover some of the deep scratches. Now, the color is not that important. We're going to dye the shoe. It's a little bit off. It's got a little bit of red in it. There are different shades of that you can use. This is the number 34 Havana, or tobacco, I guess. Tobacco brown. Number 34. All right, let's continue. using 800 grit paper. Got to figure out something on those stitches right there that are broken. Maybe I can hand stitch a couple of small areas there just to kind of bridge that gap, just so it'll look like it's not as a... Excuse me. One more. I jinxed myself. I usually do 3 at the same time. So all the scratches that were there, you see all these little marks still? That's what this product did. It filled in those deep scratches. So when you dye over it and you condition, you polish, it'll look better than what it was. Might not look 100%, but you know what? It'll be much better than what it was. Yeah, I don't like making these videos. It's really put my mood in a sour place, which I got to get out of, and I think I will once we start welting everything. I'll be in a better mood. I know it's just, well, I was going to say I feel bad making these videos. I truly don't, you know. I think something's need to be said, and I'm the one who's going to say it. Some people aren't going to like it. It is what it is. All right, let's continue. All right, so on this pair, come on now. This is called a gemming, okay? The gemming basically stitches the uppers and the welt piece together. We're going to replace this. This is about shot. This is the new gemming right there. Basically, it's a piece of canvas, and it's got fiberboard inside. It's all glued together and then stitches to the welt. This is a nice and clean footbed right there. We'll glue the gemming on there. All right, let's continue. even after thorough cleaning, there's still wax buildup on here. So you gotta clean a little more. Just used a little bit of heat gun to show you guys that it's still on there. This is what a proper blind stitch is. Let me show you guys, when you sand that, you're supposed to see the stitches. There's the stitches right there. Unbelievable, man. Unbelievable. We've got most of the scratches sanded down, re-dyed, conditioned, polished. Now this one here, see that right there? I'm gonna have to put a couple of stitches on there. So I couldn't sand that too much because it was right near the stitches. So what I'll do is I'm gonna stitch it across there to kind of bridge that gap so it won't look so obvious that it was scratched. But the uppers came back pretty good. I'm happy with them. All right, let's continue. Okay, now we get to sew on the welt. I'm going to speed this up because I've already wasted 30 minutes of the video ranting about, this issue. Oh, Noah's here today. Noah, say hello to everybody.
Hello.
All right, let's speed this up. So we sped that up a little bit with the stitching of the welt, but not all of it. I'm going to try to curb our time because my rants were so long that I don't want this video being an hour long. Now we're going to fill that in. We fill that in with leather, shank, and leather. Now, the factory put paper in here, okay? Fiberboard, basically. We're changing that with leather. I'm a dime. And what's the difference between the leather filler and the fiberboard, which is the paper? Well, with paper, if it gets wet, it's going to start dismantling. Is that the word I'm looking for? Basically falling apart. But I doubt that. I doubt that water is going to seep in to this beautiful dress shoe unless the owner decides to just kind of sit there in a puddle of water for an hour and it'll absorb into the pores of the leather and throughout the whole shoe, which I doubt is going to happen. Now, this is an extra piece of leather that we have. We're going to give the shank area a little bit of a hump, like the original used to have. This has a little bit of a hump right there. I don't know if you see it or not. We're going to do the same thing. All right, let's continue. Let's have a little happiness today, okay? Let's have hammer time. Not much happiness today, unfortunately, in this video. Too much negativity, which is not cool. I don't like it. But sometimes you got to do what you got to do. All right. Here we go. Whew. Looking good. Wow, what a transformation from what it was to what it is now. All right, let's continue. Here we go, yo. Here we go, yo. Now, this is what we call blind stitch, okay? You have to decide, obviously, what you're going to do way ahead of time. When that other person stitched the welt on, he already knew he wasn't going to do a blind stitch because he stitched the welt already on top of it. This stitch right here, that fake stitch. So then, way then, he decided that he wasn't going to do a blind stitch. Okay, this didn't happen at the last minute. Doesn't work that way. Anyway, let's not dwell on the negative. Let's move forward, and hopefully this will be a lesson learned. Okay, that's how blind stitches are done. Get stitched, then that flap gets glued back to hide the stitches. We're going to do French tip on this one. That's why I cut that notch out already in the front. But we're going to make a brass out of it. We're not going to do the silver, the regular silver ones. These are the Lulus. Okay. And that's how it's done. We're going to open up a channel there, stitch it all the way around, glue this flap down, trim the edges, put the tip on, put the eel on, and she's ready to go. Man, what a difference from what it was to what it is. All right, let's continue. A blind stitch. This flap here sometimes gets caught underneath that foot, so you got to be careful. Nerve-wracking, very nerve-wracking, because you only have one shot to do this, and we hit it out of the park. Let's continue. Solid brass tips. Woohoo! Let's continue. All right, welcome back. We are done with another project. What a difference from what it was to what it is now. That's what a blind stitch should look like. You guys remember that little hump there we did? Turned out pretty good, actually. I'm happy with them. I think the customer will be thrilled. You know, it saddens me that I've got to go through this, but let me turn my light back on. I stepped on it. You know, I hate being put in this position where I've got to out somebody in my industry, you know, but unfortunately, this was called for. I had to do it. This is not just getting back at somebody, but showing them how it should be done. And you shouldn't lie to a customer, you know, about a job that you did. Okay, if you can't do it, then don't do it. Just practice on a pair of shoes till you get good at it, and that's it, you know, and then you offer your services to customers. Anyway, I know this video was not the norm that I do. There's too much negativity in this video, and I don't like it, you know, but it's something that it had to be done, and it's done. I'm glad it's over, and let's move on to the next project. All right, well, thank you again for joining me. I appreciate it. I'm sure you guys will leave some, you know, some comments that this is not the way to do it, or whatever the case may be. It's okay, you know. There's a lot of backstory about about this person that you don't know. So, but you can leave a comment as much as you can. Good, bad, ugly, I'll take it all. No worries. And if you haven't, well, I think I want to get some thumbs down on this video, but it's okay. It's not a big deal. All right, we'll see you guys again on the next project. Take care.